I'm so sorry. Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon, a very good evening, a very good morning to one and all present here from the different parts of the world. Myself, Dr. Reenu Mishra, and I'm joining with you all from Melbourne, Australia, in association with Research Graduate, where we organize webinars on different topics of your interest, catering to your research queries, the quest you are already on. We try to support you in that. So today we are here to talk about something which is actually of great interest. Reason being, I before Australia I was teaching in Dubai. Before that I was in India. So wherever my teaching stint has been there, I always have understood this thing, that how building a research portfolio is important, not only for your current associations, but also for your future forthcoming associations. So today, this is the time where we will understand what exactly this research portfolio is all about. Before we move ahead, as I told you, I'm Dr. Reenu Mishra, and I am taking care of management modules. I work with RMIT University Melbourne, University of Tasmania at Melbourne, and I'm working with the research graduate from past 2 years, and wherein we are delivering you your research topics which are of your interest. Okay, so when I'm talking about research graduate, as I very fondly tells you, that research graduate is a one-stop solution, wherein you can get in touch with our expert team for any kind of your research query. That is, be it your topic selection, be it your proposal writing, or there are many times when we find there are hiccups, or probably there are situations when we are not able to come over our statistical analysis, or probably we are not able to edit our paper, we are not able to do the requisite statistical analysis and all that. So you may definitely get in touch with research graduate. Now when it comes to how to establish the contact, so the email ID is in right in front of you. You can also WhatsApp or call on the given number on your screens, and you can browse Research Graduate on researchgraduate.com. Okay, so just with what all research queries you have, feel free to get in touch with our expert team. Another part is that is related to our webinar, and that comes like that. This will be around 90 minutes of the discussion, followed by a question and answer round. Now, when it comes to question and answers, I am sure that many of you must be having a couple of questions during the webinar as well. However, you can get note of those questions and just post those queries by the end of the webinar. You'll all be receiving your recordings, the PPTs, and the certificates for the webinar once you are done with the webinar, once the webinar ends after 2 hours. In case you are joined up with your phone devices, you might find a glitch. However, please requesting you all to increase the video quality to 720p so that you can have a better experience. All right, so let's start for today. Now, in today's webinar, we have handpicked the topics and subtopics which will range from understanding the importance, the concept of research portfolio, to what all are the common mistakes you should avoid when you're talking about a research portfolio. During that, your online presence, how you should update your portfolio regularly, how you should develop your personal statement, and all that in a sequential chronological order we'll be taking care of. All right. Now, beginning up, let's first talk about a research portfolio. Now, before that, I'm sure that portfolio is a word which many of us must have heard somewhere. which is related to financial portfolio, right? If any one of you is a keen investor or probably is a very avid investor, they all must be having a very clear idea about portfolio. So whenever you go to your CA, or they say to your, you go to your financial advisor, so you ask them, I just want to have a very strengthened finance portfolio, that where all my money gets invested, what all sources I need to get invested. So the focus of that entire is investment, financial investment. Now, the similar concept is applicable here when we are talking about research portfolio. Now, research portfolio is nothing but what all you have done in your academic research career, you showcase that and what you want to do. Now, for example, if I say that I have a 14 years of experience, right, with a doctorate in hand, presentations, conference presentation, journal publications, have couples of books also, the PhD supervision, all that's what I'm telling you is my academic progress and achievements during my academic and my educational career. Okay. Now, when particularly I'm talking about my publications, because being an academician, what major important thing which all of us needs to take care of are publications. Okay, so our publication, what we have done, reflects the kind of interest we have, and that is a very important part of our research portfolio. So in a nutshell, if I make you understand that what is a research portfolio, so basically what all you have done and achieved in your academic research career, that all track downs your progress, plus that all track downs your achievements. That's your research portfolio. So it starts with your educational credentials, your publications, your projects, your grants, your books edited or written, your content presentations, your scholarships, your grants, all in that, and any significant achievement you have achieved during your academic career, your teaching career, your research career. Okay, that comes out to be a research portfolio. So like we talk about financial portfolio, so some of the investment is in shares, or some of the investments is in mutual funds, or some of the investments is in property or gold. That all combines your financial portfolio. Similarly here also, what all you have done, what all you have tracked down, or your achievements, your progress related to your research is your research portfolio. Okay, now why it is important? Because it showcase what you have done so far. Now it's, for instance, I'll tell you, now whenever I have attended my interviews, or I have conducted the interviews primarily for the foreign universities, this one question I have come very often to hear, asked from me, and I have also asked for whomsoever I have recruited for the position of faculties. Okay, so tell us, probably they written down their research portfolio in their CVs. However, we often ask them, or I have been often asked by that, please brief us about your research portfolio. Now this research portfolio basically is that we are asking about your career accomplishments. We're asking about what probably you have done so far in terms of your qualifications, in terms of your accomplishments, achievement, so that whatever position you have come for, it becomes easy for the decision maker that yes, you are the right candidate for it. Or even you are applying for any grants, any research grant, so you are making it sure that whatever position or funding you have applied for right now, you are the right candidate for it. Okay, plus very important thing is that I'm sure that many of you must be academician here. You must be agreeing with me saying that the way you arrange your publications, like for example the initial 2 years, like what I do or what I have seen my colleagues and my seniors doing it, that you probably work for any research papers, let's say for 2 years or 3 years, you're working on a categorical theme. For example, last 2 years I was working on entrepreneurship. With this year I have started working on sustainability. Okay, so whatever publications I had for last 2 years, it was on entrepreneurship. So I dwelled deep, or I researched, I delivered the conferences as a keynote speaker, or probably I attended the events also. Even my the modules which I taught was also related to entrepreneurship. So what it tells that during that year I have dwelt deep on entrepreneurship. Now I am progressing towards sustainability. Okay, so what is there that this research portfolio actually showcases your expertise. So be very mindful and be very careful when you are arranging and working on your research portfolio, that this is some, you just can't work right now. One paper you worked on economic development, tomorrow you're talking about leadership management, day after tomorrow you're talking about consumer behavior. So this is showing your confused state of mind. A research portfolio actually elaborates your progress, your accomplishments, when you have worked significantly towards one area for a time period, then you moved on to another one. I'm not saying that you stick to one. I'm saying you worked with one, then you move to another one, develop your understanding, develop your skill set, then you move to another one. Okay, that ways. All right. So now moving ahead, we'll understand in deep that why exactly research portfolio is essential. So you understood, right? Why, what exactly research portfolio is. Firstly, it tells you that what you have done over the period of time. So if you say that you have a 14 or 15 or let's say 10 years of higher education teaching career, so during those year what you have done, so it tells your progress. First thing. Second thing, what have you done for maintaining that excellence? Any achievements, during your career, research career, any significant highlights you have done so far? Even let's say for example you have supervised PhD career, or you have PhD projects or thesis, that also is or your an achievement. Okay, one another thing it does is very importantly that it helps you to plan your career. Now, lecturer, assistant professor, then tracking out onto the associate professor, then professor, and then climbing up the hierarchy. Now this hierarchy does not only comes with the number of years you work, it comes with how strengthened research portfolio you have. So your clear pathway of your work, that these are the progression of your career, these are the progressions of your research advancement, both climbed together helps you to plan your career. Also it improves your research. Now, ideally what we say that in a year, for an academician or for a researcher, good two quality papers should come. Now when I say good two quality, only why do I said, because when I say good quality papers, it takes at least 3 to 5 months to finish the paper. Then you get into the process of publishing them. Then you start out the process of finding the right kind of journal, or probably you have already identified the journal, then establishing the connect with the journal, and if there is any rework or probably improvements required. So this helps you to keep on improving on yourself. That means you are progressing with your research portfolio. That means you are developing your research portfolio. Also, you look back and you sit that how much you have improved yourself during those years. That initially I only used to present in conferences, then gradually I moved on to publishing journals, gradually I moved on to publishing to A category journals, and then moving on like that. So You yourself, as an academician and a researcher, are able to track down your process of improvement. Plus, it aligns with your research interest. For instance, you have a well developed research portfolio with you, and you come across with very wonderful opportunity for research grant. So you can showcase that with that grant requirements, that yes, this is what my goals are, and this perfectly aligns with what you guys are looking for. So a research portfolio is, all in all, is a reflection of you as a professional academician plus researcher as well. Now, need not to be that everybody who is an academician only should have a research portfolio. No, a researcher also, who is not interested in teaching, howsoever, but should maintain a very well developed, elaborated research portfolio. Okay. Now, as I discussed earlier as well, that it helps you to showcase your qualifications, your promotions, your work and achievements. Tells you to grant applications, how well known and networked, how visible you are for your recruitments. I'll tell you that while I was in Dubai, back in Dubai, so there were a couple of universities. So for a couple of them, for one or two, before I started working for them, during my application process with them, when I used to fill my what do you say, the application for the faculty or the academicians, they used to ask very well detailed research portfolio. Now, when you understand this concept, when you have a well developed understanding about the concept, you understand it well, that complete details we used to fill in, like how many conference presentations, how many journal publications, how many years of teaching in one particular place or another particular place, what all were the significant highlights of your tenure during that position. Then, if there is any grants awarded, if there is any scholarship awarded, if there is any project supervision done by you, if there is any PhD supervision done by you, how many master's project you have supervised during your career. So elaborated research portfolio used to be asked by the university once you go and would like to fill in your application with them. So now, if when I look back, so had it been a situation that I would not have been a well arranged portfolio, I'm not saying prepared, or I didn't have any portfolio. I'm saying if I never used to have a well arranged portfolio, even filling up my application with these university would have been become cumbersome. Okay, so your portfolio, research portfolio, actually works like a career advancement tool. How well organized a researcher, as a researcher you are, your professional achievements are well reflected in that research portfolio, which are a clear indicator that you are an individual who look up for more and more challenging assignments. Okay, so my suggestion to all those academicians who are aiming for higher opportunities, or who are looking for to changing opportunities, who are looking for more and more research opportunities, would like to be that please have a well planned research portfolio with you. What you have done, what you have achieved, what you are even working on, what you are good at. Okay, just have a clear map for you, because it not only helps you in career, it helps you that what is your expertise area. Okay, now let's say, for example, being an academician, if you apply for a business teacher, for a business management teacher. Okay, now business management is a wide subject. Okay, it's a wide course domain. In between, you have so many um, courses to be taught. So being an academician, you are not only, how you will reflect that I can teach strategy also, I can teach communication also, I can teach leadership also, I can teach communication also, I can teach contemporary management. So you can't label all those subjects one by one, right? How you reflect your expertise is by your research portfolio. What specific contributions you have done in your research in those units related to, let's say for example, you worked thoroughly on strategy, you worked thoroughly on sustainability, you worked thoroughly on social volunteering, right? So this basically reflects your expertise, your research expertise in those areas. It helps you to build up your rapport also. It helps you to clearly telling your professional image, clearly communicating your professional image in your academic fraternity. It reflects that you do have a advanced academic knowledge with aligned well with your research capacity on which you have worked throughout the years. Okay, now if just you pick up any professor's resume, if you see, so towards the end of their resumes they have the well detailed publications or the projects, the grants they got, and the funding projects they worked with. All that is nothing but reflecting their research portfolio. Okay, that's a part of their research portfolio. Now when you are talking about documenting your research or achievements, what all you have to collect. Firstly, your research outputs, in which you need to have your publications, presentations, a complete record of your work. Then your achievements should be organized properly, and you need to create a comprehensive record. That's what I told you, that when I applied a couple of years back for the universities back in Dubai, so a complete detail was asked from me, that from A to Z, what I have done so far, in what year, for how much time I was associated with what project, and uh, what was the kind of supervision. So, had it been all a mess that time, something is there, or probably I have the records, but it's not properly arranged. It would have been a nightmare for me to apply for that particular job. So, yes, when you are talking about your research achievements, it's very important to be organized with your documents. So, firstly, your research output should be collected with you. You should have whatever papers. I'm just giving you as a, not only take it as a workshop learnings, but also as a piece of advice. I'm telling you that your papers, wherever you have authored them or you have co-authored them, you should have a publication copy with you, the final version of it, okay, which is the published one. Okay, any book chapter, any conferences which you have worked, you should have a copy of it. Okay, I'm not saying always a physical copy. These days soft copy is also good, but I'm a person who collects the hard copies as well. So yes, you should have a version of it, soft copy or a hard copy. It depends upon you as a person, what is more comfortable for you. Because if I go back to my example, I have a soft copy and a hard copy, both. I make sure that I keep a print also. Then whatever presentations you have delivered, posters or seminars, anything which you have delivered, you need to have a copy of them as well. Okay, whatever raw material data, let's say for example you worked for a paper on, and that you did some interviews. Okay, so the transcript of those interviews should be saved with you. Now why, I'll tell you. Multiple times there will be opportunities that you can actually, not only for preparing your research portfolio, but I'm telling you in otherwise also, that there can be opportunities where you can actually produce more than one paper with that same data. Your research notes will be safe because they are the, you never know that how they can become your future papers, right? Whatever your work outputs are, even from for any research project or any collaborative projects, all the documents should be there with you. You should record every kind of achievement which you should have, because when you are claiming anything in your portfolio that I did this, I did that, I have gone this achievement, I have taken this award, you should have a proof for that. Okay, not just stating that in your resume or in your research portfolio will be enough. You should have a record of it. Okay, organizing achievements is second thing which I told you, that it's very important that uh, be very organized in terms of, let's say you have these publications, this is the folder for my publication, this is the folder for my presentation, and this is the folder for my grants. Now you know that if somebody is asking you that, give me all your publications, so they're not asking for your presentation, just give them the data for your publications, which year you published them, you presented them, chronological order should be there. Okay, you need to have your because the world runs digitally these days, so these your softwares, you should use different one depending upon your comfort with technology. You need to have, plus, let's say for example, I told you, for instance, last 2 years I was working on entrepreneurship. Okay, so related to that entrepreneurship theme, whatever achievements I have, whatever publications I have, that is theme related. So I am sure that this entrepreneurship folder of mine have all my applications in it, in which I have created subfolders related to my PhD supervision of the students or my publications which I've done so far. So you need to be very organized that whatever documents you have are well organized, that tomorrow if I need to use them, I am well sure that it will not create a confusion for me. Trust me, there are, because mm, as of now working in 3 countries have made me realize that a well arranged, a well documented, no, let me tell you, a well arranged and well documented research portfolio in our industry, academics and research, is supreme. Claiming everything on paper does not serve the purpose only. Different countries have different requirement, different institutions have even in the same country, different institutions have different requirement. And nowadays, in terms of getting more authenticated, institutions, universities, they want a complete record from yourself, specifically on what you are claiming to have, right? So it's always suggestive to create a comprehensive record by yourself in advance. Like whatever, let's say for example, you can go for an Excel also preparing or document whatever ways you are comfortable with, which date you presented. Let's say you attended a conference, which date, what was the theme of the conference, how many authors you along with whom you presented, what was the publication date. Let's say your paper got selected for the publication, so what were the publication dates. So tomorrow if you need to go back to that conference any point in time, or details related to that conference, you can easily go to it. Okay, plus you need to have a summary which should have your abstracts plus the kind of work you did, because many a times you are required to send the brief of your work, so just pick it up and send it. Okay, along with it, make sure that you have all your certificates, your recommendation letter, any documents you have, plus your documents should have a professional appearance, messy, and the language of, because if, let's say for example, if you're asking from recommendation letter for somebody, make sure that the language they use which is something which is very well accepted in the industry, plus all your information is verified. Okay, now you know what, this is not something which is from the purpose of this workshop or probably delivering this to you, this is something which comes from my own experience as well. Because not only if you are looking for a move from your country, but also from in one institution to another institution, or probably one research project to another research project, all this entire research portfolio package travels with you. You know, you may change your job, you may change your work premise, but this is something which you carry as your heritage. So this needs to be updated, this needs to be maintained, this needs to be recorded professionally. So parallelly, make sure that every 3 months, every 4 months, if not, you have, you're not working too much towards enhancing it, so every 6 months you sit with your research portfolio and update it, maintain it, ensure a complete record of it. Just, let's say you think that, okay, I had a touch on my research portfolio a couple of months back. There's no need. No, sit with it again. Just give a one complete half day and sit, look back at your documents, maintain a digital copy, maintain a hard copy, just cross check both of them. So tomorrow, if you need to have a look of them again, just to send them to somebody or probably to use for your promotion, you're ready with it. Okay. Another perspective related to your research portfolio is about showcasing your publications and presentations. Okay. You should very wisely choose your publications. Okay. I will tell you in detail. In this, you should have a detailed conference presentation, and plus how you should collaboratively showcase your work. Okay. Let's have each perspective in detail. When you are talking about or showcasing or selecting your publications, talk about the key publications. Okay. When I say key publication, what I meant to say is that, see, we all know that there are too many journals these days, gray journals, and there are instances in our career that we have had to, you know, publish in any kind of B category or C category journal, which is not that well accepted today. However, that was the time where we probably were not in a very strong research strand as compared to today. So, as you have progressed with your research publications, improved your research publications, so make sure that you always feature the publications which are in well reputed journals, in well reputed conferences. Okay. A very highly acceptable conferences around the world, if you have uh, presented in them, if you have published your papers in A category journals, okay, or A plus category journals. So try or maintain to feature those publication first. I'm not saying that neglect the others as well. However, the one with no impact need not to be included. People don't even take attention towards them. Second thing, your research activities which is latest should come in first, which has more relevance, which should comes on first. Okay. You, and also very importantly, like I told you that this is what I also personally follow, that during my entire research and academic career, I have switched from topic to topic while I'm working on my research. So for 2 years it was entrepreneurship, before that it was change management, in which social and technological change it was also there. Currently it is sustainability. Initially I had worked on pastoral care as well. So you should be able to show a diverse range of topics when it comes to your research portfolio. Now, what will tell you that it will showcase that you have not stuck with one topic, because see, how many times you can publish on one theme. You need to have your expertise in more than one areas, right? So you continuously working towards different research area, it shows that how well read, how well researched you are, and it is being showed by your publication. Okay, so this also shows that your good command on overall those skills. Okay, then you should always make sure that you highlight your papers with high citation significant impact. It should be your in your field. Definitely make sure whatever publications of yours which have received, let's say, special paper award, or probably have been considered for special paper, have received any grant, just highlight them as well, because this is not, do not take it as that you are boosting your achievements, right? This is something that your work was of that quality that it reached to that standard level. Okay, so this is how we should actually select our publications, the key one, the one which gave us more visibility. Okay, then categorically talking about conference presentation, see, this is something which I personally have seen, um, talking to many academicians and talking to many authors as well, that not much of the attention is being given to the conference presentations. Conference are something which is, generally been avoided, or probably not much given attention to. However, it should not be the case. You should include the presentations which are, quite prestigious one. For example, if you are attending any, like any any global conferences, because towards the end, for example, towards the end, from October, November, December, starting from September, only September, October, November, these 4 months are primarily where, across the world, many conferences happens, and like all of you come from different areas, so you all must be knowing that what all conferences in your domain happens. You do not know, if you do not know, just kindly subscribe yourself to some conference alerts, which will keeps you updated that what all conferences are happening, and you take part of in that. Okay, plus also, if you have any been to any presentations where you have been a part of very important discussions, you have discussed through your slides or any multimedia to increase your visibility, mention, your details of the conferences should be noted with you, where it happened, when it happened, what was the theme, what was your role in that conferences, and if you have been a part of any interactive session or workshops. Like, I always make sure to include it in my research portfolio, that where all I have been a keynote speaker, because I have been a keynote speaker at a couple of places. I have attended conferences as a session chair. So I always make sure that, these are something which highlights that you had skill sets in those area. That is the reason you have been appointed, or you have been selected as a keynote speaker or a session chair. Even if not in that capacity, that you are a keynote speaker or a session chair, even if you have presented, like for example, last to last year, that is 2022, we happened to present our paper in one of the global conference, happened back in UAE. So that was something which was a prestige in itself, because you get to share the dais with the noted researchers, noted speakers across the globe, and you present your paper. And when your paper get applaud, this is something which you involve in your research paper, in your research portfolio. Okay, so this always you need to make sure of. Then showing your collaborative work is also one of the essential aspect of your research portfolio, that you should have documented all your research paper and articles, whichever you have worked with your fellow researchers, but whatever papers you have worked with others. I'm not saying that always you been work as an author, you always should document the papers which you have worked as an author. No, even if you have second, third, or even fourth co-author, just document that research paper, because if not all, but you had certain contribution in that. Okay, that increases your visibility, that how well connected. This is also have one, that how, because you will be co-authoring the paper with other researchers, and they will allow you to do so, they will allow you to be a part of research with them, because only when you know them, that shows that how well networked you are. And okay, increase the span of your research. That is what my uh, suggestion. And this is something which I personally also work on the same, that all of us as a researcher should not stick to one thing, and not only as a researcher, also as an academician also, because I have seen faculties are very good teachers, lecturers are very good lecturers, but they are been delivering same lectures, same, they have been coordinating same subjects from years. So a very self established comfort zone with those subjects has been started, and we are not ready to move out of it. So if we are not ready to move out of our academic comfort zone, how will we establish a new research zone which will have multiple disciplines, or probably different research areas within our domain only? Do that. Plus, since I talked about the networking, make sure that you uh, present papers with your colleagues and research teams, that will, you know generate a capacity of you as a researcher to work in team. So whatever your role and responsibility was in this kind of collaborative work, please show, so that that it showcases you. Because see, in if in your research portfolio you have multiple paper, but all with you as an author, or probably just one another individual or one another researcher as a co-author, always with same co-author, that also is not good thing. Reason being, that shows that you are not well network researcher, and you are not something who experiment with your research skill sets or research domains. So work collaboratively, first thing. Second thing, do not forget to showcase that work. Okay, so these two things one should always be involved in. Now, very important part, which I think which we all academicians work very diligently towards, that's your grants and awards. So whatever grants and awards you have, detail them. I'll talk to you in each of the perspective and details, plus your academic awards, if any, and whatever scholarship and highlights fellowships you have. All right, so let's have each and every one in detail. Firstly, that if you have any funded projects, okay, if you have any funded research projects, by whosoever it got funded, whosoever was the funding agencies, what was your grant awards, what was the total duration you received that grants, what was the outcome of that project, and what any significant roadblock which you faced and you came out of it successfully. All this should be detailed. Do not forget to detail, because your grants, let me tell you, whatever grants you get in terms of your specific research projects with any funding agency, be it government or be it non-government or be in any institution, it showcases how skilled researcher you are. So a complete detail of it, firstly tells it authenticity, second it tells you that how much involvement were there from your end. So what was the duration of the project? So probably, let's say for example, you had this project for 2 years, but you managed to finish the project in year or couple of months. So this shows that how diligently you were working for your a research project, and if it's a well funded project, because any institution, any research agency does not fund a project unless and until they see something concrete in it. Okay, so your grants, whatever grants is being are being awarded to you, whatever research projects are being done by you, which are funded, that shows you as a well established researcher. Okay, coming to your awards, I'm sure, I mean, who doesn't like to boast their academic awards? So if you have any academic awards, let's say best educator, best academician, mind it should be from respective institution and organizations. Now why I'm particularly highlighting this thing, because these days I have seen couple of institutions who are conferring the people, who are conferring academicians that so and so awards are being there, and nominate yourself, and you can nominate yourself also. Now what thing I have noticed in these institutions is that they take money. No, I'm talking something which is aside from this. They take money. Let's say if you pay them x amount, you'll be conferred by that award. Okay, now why I am telling you to only highlight awards from prestigious and respected institution, because if you had, let's say you pay the money for that award, for example, you might be of an impression that industry people does not know this. But let's say, for example, if I can know that yes, there are institutions who actually charge money and then they can confer the award with you, others also. So it creates a negative impression. No matter, there are chances that you might not have been paid for that award, but it gives an impression that this might can be a paid awards, right? So what I'm telling you is that you always highlight the awards. Please do so, but from well respected institutions. Okay, if it's not from your working place, let's, because many a times you get acknowledged from your for your work, for your research contribution from your workplace also, that's very good. Please highlight them. But if it's apart from your working place, please make sure that whatever institution you are mentioning, it is a authentic one. Okay, also, whatever your research contributions are, your certificate of copies of certificates, please do not assume that I might not need these certificates in future. You never know. Okay, you never know. So highlight the important awards, important research contribution, have a copy of their certificate, why these awards were important, and if any other criteria you fulfilled in order to be nominated. Let's say, for example, any particular number of researchers or any particular number of supervision or any other excellence academy are delivered. If that was the criteria, so highlight that one. So that means, that shows what? That shows that you duly were eligible for this award. Your research skill set was completely aligned with this award. Okay, very importantly, in including your grants and awards, are a fellowship and scholarship. See, we all know that whosoever comes from research and academics, how hard it is to get these scholarships and workshops, these fellowships, right? Scholarship and fellowship. So if you have any, please highlight them. Have proper account document of them, whatsoever. For example, till now, even till now, whenever, my research portfolio always have that my first scholarship, which was from UGC, and how it converted from JRF to SRF. So because that was something which, because converting from JRF to SRF, that is a kind of promotion which you get as during the tenure of your research scholar. That shows that you Diligently work towards your research project, which actually contributed towards your skill sets, that from you're now eligible from JRF to SRF, right? So include all your scholarship, your fellowships, what kind of financial support you get, and how these uh, fellowship and scholarship actually influence your career path. Now, for example, if I talk about my scholarship and fellowship, actually, so starting with JRF, by diligently work towards my research, and I got the opportunity to upgrade as a SRF, senior research fellow. So for that, you have to consistently work towards your research skill set. You have to provide details that yes, you are well eligible for this SRF fellowship. You have to submit the proper documentation, proper research publication. It not only helped to get the scholarship, but it also helps to harness my skill sets, harness my research skills. So, mm, plus you're getting the financial support as well, which is a big relief, right? To continue your research. So, make sure that whosoever granted that research scholarship or fellowship, nominate those body and tell about those body also. Okay, so your fellowship and, and scholarship primarily are an indicator that you are a deserving researcher. Okay, then comes your personal statement development, which is a very integral part when it comes to your research portfolio. Often I have come across, and whenever we fellow colleagues discuss also, um, being an academician and being a researcher, sometimes we feel that if they are extremely overlapping, and sometimes we feel that they are, if you are a good teacher, need not to be have a good researcher, and vice versa. However, in my opinion, when you're talking about that, if you are a teacher, if you are an academician, plus if you are an avid researcher also, it reflects in your teaching. I'm sure many of you as an academician will agree me saying this, that a active academician, if he or she is an avid researcher also, it improves the teaching. So whatever content I'm delivering in my classes, it is somehow backed up by the research back there what I'm doing, right? So whenever you are developing your personal statement, you should be very clear that whatever my vision is, well supported my key with my key achievements and what I want to do. Okay, let's understand it in detail. That when you are working on your personal statement, okay, make sure that your research focus is clear. And I'm sure that any one of you who must have been, in a process of applying jobs or developing any criteria for any particular job, they ask you that what are your primary research area interest and what are your area of specialization. You should be very clear on it. Now I'll tell you how. If you are saying your research interest or your area of specialization to be something else, and your publications are saying some other research area or some other interest specialization, if both of them does not align, that is questionable for you, because obviously whatever is your research interest are, that has to showcase in your publication. So be very clear in your research interest and your area of specialization, whatever your long term goals are, whatever your aspirations are, why you consider yourself that you are passionate about about the research, and how it helps you to reach your future goals. What are your experience? So what I'm telling you is that all in all, whatever we have discussed so far, the publication, the presentations, the award, the glimpse of it should be reflected in your vision. That so and so vision I have in my field, so and so area of specialization I have in my field. Obviously, whatever you're claiming here should be aligned that what we have discussed so far. Okay, you're getting my point? So, a clear vision, developing a clear vision is very important. Then, when you're talking about your personal statement, it is imperative to have, obviously, who don't like to boast about their achievements. You need to tell about your significant projects, whatever contributions you have, whatever research recognitions you have, any award if you have, what kind of skills you have. Like, for example, you know, all of us will must be having a LinkedIn presence, right? So even the LinkedIn also tells you to highlight your skill sets. Okay, so what exactly your skill expertise are, please reflect them, and how your achievements so far have helped you to develop professionally, how motivated you are, how improved you were or are with your achievements. So please make sure that all of these key achievements are highlighted and discussed so far. Again, I'm telling you, this is not something which you are telling because mm, uh, you know you're boasting about your achievements. No, this is all something which are acting as a proof that what all you are claiming is right. Okay, is something right. Then comes your future goals. Yes. uh what have you done so far? Like I said, when you're talking about your research interest, your area of specialization, and you have already discussed about your publication, they should align similarly with your future goals also. Whatever is being claimed in your research portfolio so far, it should, whatever your past work, whatever your past work has, it should be aligned well with your activities current activities, whatever you have done so far, whatever you are doing currently, and whatever you aim to do. you know Now, why it is important is that it reflects your clarity. If it reflects your clarity that this researcher has a clear perspective that this kind of work, this kind of skill set, this kind of research interest the person has. Okay, then what kind of career goals you have for yourself, have a clear articulation on them also. What kind of innovation you plan to have a clear plan on that also, because this will help you in, I'll tell you how, because many universities globally also, even based in India also, they asked you that what all you aim for yourself, how you plan to innovate yourself, how you plan to innovate your research, what kind of future research endeavors you would like to achieve through. So, if your research portfolio has a well stated future goals, it will be very easy for you to not only justify your research journey, but also to make it clearly communicating to others. Okay, all right. I think let's skip this break part because we are already in a theme. Let's continue with this. Then comes your online presence. I think this is something which I personally believe is of great importance. You need to have a professional website. Your social media should be utilized properly, and then online professionalism. Now, how? Let's talk one by one. Firstly, when you're talking about building an online presence, your Professional work website should be there in picture if you are aiming so. I'm telling you, if you're aiming so. So you need to have a clear section of your research publications, your CV, your contact details. Okay. So when you're talking about a website for somebody who is into research and academics, so you can't expect anything which is high degree of professionalism. So website should reflect that professionalism. It should be recently updated. Now, I just couple of minutes back I told you that every 2 months or probably 3 months, at max every 6 months, you need to sit with your publications. What I have done so far, update the research portfolio, just give a touch back to it, anything which is missed, because I'm sure every time, whenever we sit, we come with something that which is missing. Okay. Just have your all the online profiles, yeah, or your ORCID ID should be upgraded, should be, that profile should also be updated. Clear networking details for collaborations, for conference approaches, for publications, for networking should be clearly there. So your professional website, if you're creating one, is no less than you yourself, just depicting everything through a website. That's it. So how updated it is, how you know well developed it is up to you. Then comes social media. See, right now, I don't think so there is any industry which is untouched by the social media. Okay. Now we are living in a world which is well dominated, which is well I think devised by social media. So how can we as an academician or a researcher be left behind it? So if you should leverage the power of social media, use more and more uh, uh, platforms like LinkedIn, ResearchGate to network with your peer scholars, peer researchers, and whatever updates you have. Just because what these days happen is that even if somebody knows you, just to get a complete authentication of you as a researcher and academician, they always go back to your social media, because which is something you have widely published. So there high chances are that you will not lie. Of course we should not lie also. So just be updated on that, just be a part of actively network group discussion, just make them feel that you're there. Whatever, let's say for example on LinkedIn, if you have published any paper of yours, if you have been a part of any conference, if you have received any award, just talk about it. you know also, while dealing all this, while doing all this, there has to be professional tones, right? Even if you are a part of any WhatsApp group, or if any network which has been created on WhatsApp or on email, just maintain that professional dignity. You just can't take anybody for granted, because you are a researcher. You are the one who are representing academics, right? So that should reflects with the way you write. Okay. Plus, make sure that you network. Your research will also grow with like-minded people like you. Okay. So networking is key. And these days, with internet in our hands, global networking was also very easy and as a passive one, right? And you people are doing it very actively, and people are collaborating with professors down there in France, and they are sitting in India, professor down there in US, and they are sitting in Canada. So that kind of networking is happening these days. Now, while maintaining this networking, always ensure maintaining the online professionalism. You should come across as a brand to others, somebody who can be looked up to, somebody who can be of high standards. In doing so, just ensure that it's a digital world. A lot of flaws also come across, so make sure that your privacy is maintained, your security should not be compromised, because whenever we are in awe of promoting ourselves, we just neglect a couple of things which should not be. High quality content should be shared, because the content which you shares reflects, or probably let the people assume about you. Okay, just make sure to have a give an eye again, or probably whenever is needed for your online presence, and and a professional interaction with your fellow colleagues in these online interactions discussion should be maintained, because this will do what? This way you will share your updated thoughts, you will get to know their thoughts, because they are also updated, they are also having latest knowledge. This is a very clear pathway of sharing each other's knowledge, plus ensuring that you exist on their social media page. Okay, now another aspect which we will be talking about is networking and collaboration. Okay, under this we will be exploring about, you should attend conferences, or you should be engaged in professional organization, or you should seek the guidance from academic mentors, how it is important and how you should do it. Now, so while talking about networking and collaboration, um, in my opinion, and based on my personal experience also, conferences are a very great way of strengthening your network. It's very, very great way. You get to meet peers, colleagues from your research domain. You also get to seek future opportunities to collaborate with them. So not only you are sharing the knowledge, definitely, which will help you in developing your research platform, it also helps you to find out that what kind of future collaborations we can have. Because see, these workshops, these conferences gives you an opportunity that I consider them as a win-win situation, that it not only gives you an opportunity to work on your skills, to get to know what is happening in your domain, coming across the latest update in your domain, but it also helps you to build up the professional relationships. It also helps you to come across with people of your domain. So make sure, just a piece of advice here, whenever you go and attend any kind of network collaboration, or from event, or like workshop or conferences, always carry your what do you call as the visiting ID. Make sure that you carry your ID, your what do you say, that the visiting card. Okay, make sure to do that. Do you carry those visiting cards? Second thing, that it is not important to have always present the paper. Not necessarily that you always get to present the paper, that sometimes we think that we are not presenting any paper, so why it is important to go and attend the conferences when we are not presenting anything. No, don't think like that. You get a chance to get in touch with the people, you get a chance to uh, network with people. It is very important that here with these kind of opportunities, here with these kind of events, you get to connect with people. Okay, so it helps you to find out your kind of collaboration. It helps you to kind of connect with like-minded research. And then what you can do, like we talked about the websites, like we talked about creating a online presence for you, just you know um uh, put them there or probably showcase them there, that how this attending this workshop helped you to gain this research, or what kind of network opportunity they gave you, or probably in future if you get to see any network opportunities from these workshops, put them on your online page or probably on your website later, that it gives an idea that yes, you as a researcher are very actively attending these kind of workshops and network opportunities, and seeking out the positive collaborations also from them. Okay, then moving on in network and collaboration, make sure that, what I believe, it's very important that you engage with professional organizations. Now, these professional organizations will further gives you network opportunities. Okay, and if you are in touch with these professional organization, you get a chance to be keynote speakers, or probably chair a session or a guest lecturer. Now, this, because you just can't randomly go as a keynote speaker. Also, this will also enhance your knowledge itself. You will prepare beforehand, plus it will give you a visibility in front of all the people who have come to attend that event. Okay, so with these professional organizations, you get in touch with the groups of people with your interest, plus definitely you work on your own skill sets also. These seminars, these workshops not only gives you a visibility in front of others, but it also gives you an opportunity to work on your own skill sets, to work on your your own to harness your research skills. There are many, I would suggest that whatever domain you come from, because you all are from different field, you all are from different domains, so try to look and find out your own your active organization in your field. There are many, like for example, people are from management, there are members of IMA, there are member of human resource bodies, there are many of them. So just be a part of those research bodies, or probably relevant societies or organizations, because they also are an active representation in your research portfolio, that what kind of associations you have with these kind of research bodies, or probably these relevant societies and organizations. It helps you to give more of your visibility. Lastly is that, talking about your leveraging academia mentors, that you need to have a clear direction. It Sometimes it gets difficult with for us to decide what we want to do, or probably, you know we want to hear out on our work, we want to get the feedback, we want to network with our researchers and professionals in our field. So always, you should have an academic mentor. Like till date, it's been long that I have submitted my PhD, and I have been conferred my PhD with my PhD degree. It's been long. So but I always go back to my supervisor and seek his academic guidance, his wisdom, his experience. It helps me to navigate my career goals, because there were instances, and there are many a times I also get confused, or probably would like to navigate through some exciting opportunities which he provides me many a times. Similarly happening with many of my students as well, that with them, more than a faculty or more than a teacher, I'm in touch with them as a mentor, that so it not only helps them, it helps me also. And with my supervisor, with my academic mentor, it always gives me an opportunity to learn something from him, from his knowledge, and from his network. I remain well connected. So it gives me an opportunity, a dual opportunity, to learn in this case, and to deliver the learning in another case, and to be get those research opportunities to network opportunities in both the cases. So one should always have an academic mentors because it helps you to navigate the challenges. Next important thing is that update your portfolio regularly. Yeah, that goes without saying. That is something, you know, like days Gen Z, what we formerly called as, they regularly update their Insta or probably other social media pages. We researchers and academicians should update our portfolio regularly. We should get regular feedbacks. We should get regular reviews. It should be, incorporating into our career progress. So when it comes to updating your portfolio, you should get regular reviews, right? So whatever your updates are in terms of any publications, any presentations, you should update them regularly. So updating them regularly means, let's say, even if you are doing something but you are not updating it, so unless and until it is known to the world, unless and until it is known in your network. Now by world I'm saying it is known in your network, how will they get a get to know that yes, you are consistent towards your research deliveries, you are consistent towards your research deliverables. Okay, so this kind of regular review setup should be there by you, or probably whom you consider as an academic mentor. If any information you find is less, what do you say, that relevant as per current times, just get rid of it, because that shows that you're not aligned with what has been required, because you have not seen your portfolio from so long, and anything which has got obsolete, it is still a part of your portfolio. Just remove it. There's no point to create a clutter when we are talking about a portfolio. Then seek feedback. Yes, this is very important. I think being a researcher, all of us understands the importance of feedback. That we should know that, because in our opinion, we think that our portfolio is the best, or probably we have included the best of the information which we have for us with us. But many a times what happens is that when we just kind of have a look, or probably we work on our portfolio, everything seems perfect to us unless and until somebody else gives a different eye to it. Okay, so this feedback is not only to find a flaw in your work, but it is to improve the quality of your work. It is to improve that what kind of relevant material should be placed in your portfolio, if there is any change, because sometimes we think that this is important, but if we ask any feedback from somebody, they tells us that no, this has got obsolete, or probably there has to be some new developments in your research, should be placed in your portfolio. Or sometimes we think that okay, that presentation is not of that importance, but when we ask somebody, these kind of things, when we hear from somebody else, that kind of feedback should be incorporated. Now this feedback, you will get it when you will get connected with well networked people of your industry who has high degree of research skills, probably your academic mentors, probably your colleagues who are higher in your hierarchy, even your colleagues of same level also. However, it is, this kind of feedback will come from a person who has the same research bent as yours. Okay, has just you guys are on the same page, so that will ensures that you get a different eye from an individual who perhaps is from the same industry, or perhaps from the same research area, right? So this is very important. Then your career progress reflection. Yes, this is very important. Even if you have mentored your students back in master's projects, that's your career progress, because No faculty which is being given an opportunity to mentor the master projects unless and until they have the capacity to do it, right? So whatever accomplishments you have, whatever publications you have, whatever presentations you have, which you think that this was a milestone I achieved, even as a keynote speaker, even as a guest lecturer, even if some of the other book, one of the chapter or one of the case you published in one of the that chapter, no, if not the complete chapter, that is a milestone you have achieved. If you have undergone any training, if you have obtained any certification, show it. And let's say, for example, you are a communication teacher, you are an English teacher, you have undergone any soft skill communication certification, that definitely will add up to your work or the quality of your teaching or quality of your research. Show it, reflect it as a career progress, that so and so certifications or probably trainings I have achieved, right? Now, for example, last year, like, way back in 2023, exactly a year back. So my PhD was finished a couple of years back. Now, during after the PhD, whatever publications, whatever book chapter publications we had, last year I did a higher education teaching certificate. So yes, indeed, that's a career progression for me. The institution which I did was like Harvard University, I did it. So that was a career progression. So yes, it does get a place in my research portfolio very diligently, because now it has, despite of the fact that n number of years of experience you have, but whenever you do any new certification, whenever you undergo any new trainings, you tend to get new skill sets. You get to hold on to your new skill set. So that is supposed to get highlighted in your research portfolio. Okay. Now, when you're working on your own research portfolio, so you need to look on some examples, some of the lessons which you take as a key takeaways, and some best practices you should adopt. Now, how? Let's have a look into in it with detail. Now, some prominent when you're working on your own research portfolio, uh, make sure or ensure to have a look on some well-known researchers portfolio in your field, so that you get to know that this is the way I need to be, or this is the way my portfolio need to look like. You get to have, like, many confusions are there, like, how my research portfolio should look like. In that case also, when you look into some established researchers portfolio, you get to know some research for new formats or probably new examples. You study about them, like what are their what were their milestones, how did they achieve these milestones as mentioned in their portfolios, or and just learn from them what kind of roadblocks they had into their fundings, or probably if you get a chance to talk to those researchers also, how these research grants significantly improved in their careers. And also, what you learn from learning these from these examples, include them as a part of yours. That's very important. It just should not be read as a case or a story, but it should be understood, or probably it should be given an eye as a learning story. Okay. So once you take a key takeaways from them, just ensure that what were the techniques they adopted from for themselves, you adopt the same. Okay. If you think that there is a couple of things which are good in their portfolios, adapt them. Probably it can be chronological, the way they have chronologically arranged their publications, or probably they have discussed their milestones, or probably they have discussed that how they came across any problem or any roadblocks and how they overcome that. Any innovative technique which you think that had made their portfolio interesting enough to for you to give your attention to them, that will refine yours. Okay, so it's not only that you just talk about your work, how you talk about your work, taking a lessons from others is also important. In order to do that, one should also always should have a best practices that your your own success is your personal, right? It should be very focused, customized. Okay, you should have innovative techniques while talking about your portfolio. Your style should be personally yours. Regularly go back to your portfolio. Even if you have developed one personal statement today, you might can find a probably requirement to update it probably 6 months later, which is no harm. Continuous improvement is no harm. So you should also use successful case studies to enhance your own research portfolio. Okay, this should be done as an active researcher, as an avid researcher. What I believe is that this research portfolio is very important these days, because what all is what all kind of developments which are happening in terms of education, in terms of education delivery, in terms of research. This research portfolio takes a very important past when it comes to your research portfolio. Now, lastly, is that some common mistakes you should have your to take care of, to avoid is that too much of information should not be there. Regularly update it, so you can't neglect the updates, and lack of professionalism. Let's talk one by one. Firstly, stories should not be there. Now, when I say you should include this, you should include that, that does not mean that you fill it with too much of information. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that. I'll tell you, whenever what kind of information is there. So there is no particular set format of it, but there are elements which you can involve in your research portfolio. Your cover letter, okay, or like I said, professional statement. It should be there, which actually tells about yourself, your goals, your aspirations, which we have discussed. Then, you know, you move towards creating your portfolio by telling about your CV as in your academic presence, your educations, your research statement, your research achievements, all that. So when you talk about it's any set format, I would not say that any set format, but series of subsets, well arranged, is a format given to a portfolio. Okay, in this, please do not overfill the information. Just when I say overfill, just talking too much about a particular thing. Precise information, selected information in a professional, mannered, clear language. What you want to highlight, you should place it as a priority, high achievements, and there has to be proper structure given to it. Structure as in this, each sentence, each section is very clear. What the section is all about, that all should be very clear. It's okay, so too much of information should be avoided. Second thing is, like I always kept talking during this entire webinar, that you should update your portfolio. In no scenario your portfolio should be an outdated one. Okay, avoid having when I say update your information, or to do not overload your information, so in that case, avoid keeping outdated information. Okay, avoid mentioning obsolete skill sets. Okay, so you should be very well clear in your mind that yes, after or thought after 3 months or probably 2 months, I will go for my uh, research portfolio touch base again. Any recent achievements have happened, put it on. And please align your career goals. So let's say, for example, there are many chances wherein we have any major achievement which have significantly impacted our career goal. So accordingly, change your professional statement as well. Okay. Lastly, is lack of professionalism. That is, you should be consistent in your formatting. Language should be very clear. When I say formatting, somebody somewhere it is Times Roman, or probably somewhere the font size is too bold or font size is too small. Please avoid it. A visual appealed portfolio should be there. It should look like, if you want to keep a picture of yours, so just make sure that how your picture should, like, it should not be in a garden, or probably make sure that you have a professional picture as well to be placed in your portfolio. Okay. And most importantly, the information, whatever you put across should be authenticated, should be valid, accurate, not misleading. Okay. Because you are preparing yourself to be presented and to be discussed by others. Okay. Now, what we have done so far is that we understood about the concept of research portfolio, why it is important, how we can maintain our online presence, what should be avoid while doing so, and how we can document our work, what is the importance of network and collaboration, and what are the effective strategies for having an effective and up to date portfolio. Okay, now we are all set and open for your questions. Okay, Muna has, see, I told you that, Muna, that any specific format or template, if you are asking that to be given, is I would say that you always start with your introduction. And when you're talking about your introduction, you can go ahead with your professional statement, your career objectives, then your academic progressions, then your professional expression. It may sound like CV, but it is not. CV is a part of your portfolio. Okay. Then your research statement, because research portfolio place a very strong emphasis on your research achievements, entailing everything. Okay. And you, if you wish, you can have a well suited picture also, because in West, like here also, we do place pictures as well, like professional picture in your research portfolio. Yes, Mr. Srinivas. Yes, interacting with your fellow researchers or peers, academicians, definitely put a lot of emphasis, put a lot of improvement when it comes to your research portfolio and effectiveness. Definitely, what all you have mentioned is does makes a sense. Indeed, indeed. Yes. Now we are all open for the questions. Please feel free. I'm sure that all of us must be, probably in a phase of creating one research portfolio, or must have created. And now after this webinar, I'm sure that many of us must be thinking that, okay, this is missing, or probably that is missing. Manoj have a question. Sometimes we are getting spam mails from many sources that your article got some award, like that. How to deal with, like as you mentioned, Manoj, that they are spam. You know what, the similar thing has happened to me a couple of years back. Because what happened is that when you have published your paper somewhere, or an article somewhere, so it gets the visibility, right? So these spammers, they picks up your paper title and sends you an email mentioning your paper title. That's what happened with me. Some European, something like, my article was on healthcare, and was there was a committee, the spam committee, Journal of Medicine, or something like European Committee of Medicine. So it was sounding so authenticated. So see, As long as you know that it's a spam mail, you're good to go ahead. Just in case, you get to know that, your article have got some awards or something, make sure that before you progress for anything, you do a double check with the authorities or with the organization whosoever is sending you. What is the existence? Is it authenticated or not? And so on. Yes, please do that. Hi, Pratika. I'm in my final year of PhD at AIMS. Very good. Applying to apply for stocks in future after research multiple domains, cardio, neuro. Should I keep exploring or focus on a specific area? Pratika, I think when it comes to postdoc, not only in your areas, I think it is very important to firstly exploring your interest area. It is very important because postdoc is something which itself is a research journey which is highlighting that you are keen interested in that. So for postdoc, my suggestion would be, rather than hovering on multiple domains, if you have any specific interest, like which you must be having during your PhD, you must have developed any specific keen interest focus area on which you would like to work on in future also, and that's what becomes your postdoc topic. So my suggestion would be this, and then get in touch with professors or teachers who have the similar kind of interest or working on the same kind of area, and then share your interest with them, or probably whatever their demands are. Probably they want you to submit a research project, or probably they want you to further work on it, or whatsoever is their progress or their working style is. My suggestion would be, first identify your research interest for postdoc. Yes, Mr. Dr. Jani. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Any see, Dr. Hemang, it depends upon that, what particular domain you are for. You are preparing for. There are many, I think, and I can tell you a couple of them. However, when it comes to preparing a research portfolio, LinkedIn also helps you to manage your research portfolio. And apart from that, for students also there are different one. For many universities also, it they helps you to prepare your many universities, they have a specific navigation point on their website that can help you to create your research portfolio. Pratika, it is not necessary that you should have a continuation for your PhD in your postdoc. However, generally, it is one of the area, because postdoc is something you would like to do on a topic in which you are interested in, right? So that interest you must have seen in yourself during your PhD, because something which you have never been interested in your PhD and you want to do a postdoc, it becomes hard to justify also, right? So yes, not a continuation if I would say that, but yes, an interest area which you have been observing in you, that I'm interested to work on in my postdoc. So it is generally, what I would say that comes out as a result. Yes, I would type Dr. Hemang for you, to all also applications to prepare your research. Uh, LinkedIn also helps, and then Maker also helps. Then I think Terra also have. I will tell you. I'm typing for all those who wants to. In fact, Canva also helps you to prepare one. It gives you a very good format, so you can just have a look on it. Very good, Mr. Srinivas. Very good, very good. And I think people like you, who have such a very elaborated research portfolio already existing, should get connected with people like us and the audience on the platform. That, a well networked individual who is amongst us, like we discussed, we should be networked with people, or we should be, get in touch with mentors. So Miss Dr. Srinivas, I think, is the one of the person with from whom you can seek suggestions from. Okay. Pritika, your questions is there and there. Is there a specific length that a portfolio should be just a couple of pages? You better keep it. No, you see, Pritika, one page research portfolio is practically not possible. Reason being, it is practically not possible. Why I'm saying so? If you have, let's say, for example, Dr. Srinivas said he has 60 publications. So it is not possible that you can have all those 60 publications in one page. So it depends upon how well detailed your research journey is. If you have just started it, or probably, gradually you will start working on it, then you might can have. And like I said, it should not be like a booklet also, that you are just including information. It remains in length. If you are updating as in adding latest, removing old, adding latest, removing new, that will, that ways it will keep its length. Ma'am, 1 year doc valid. Physics world, I think you need. Can you please retype your questions? Probably I didn't get a proper hint of it. Ah, Dr. Srinivas, definitely don't say that. Will you assist me in create a website creation? I can actually, we can, let's rephrase it like that. We can work together like this. I am not, I'm not a person who can create a website, but yes, I can help you in putting up the content on the website, that which section should have that. Probably creating a website should can be done by somebody who is good in IT, or probably a website developer or something like that. Once the website is developed, then content can be managed. Definitely. Physics world, I would say that please can you retype your question? That would be easy for me. So firstly, based on the information you all have, the content of the information you all have, you can have multiple research portfolio designs and templates are there. I have given you a couple of apps over in my chat, Ganesh. So you can have look on it just to get a uh, hint of how this research portfolio should look like. Dr. Srinivas, right now I'm currently working with RMIT Melbourne campus, and also University of Tasmania. That's also what the Melbourne campus. But since I've relocated to Australia. Uh, but people have suggestion that I shorten it. I'm unsure whether to keep it detailed or condense it. Now, Pratika, like it depends upon, like I would say that 4 to 5 pages long research portfolio for a person, um, depends upon that to what level. Like for you, I think you can reduce it also. Depends upon. It seems like that you have probably have kept too much of detailed information. If you can tell me your number of publications, or probably, if there is any, because if you're just talking about the projects, or probably giving a very detailed information about each paper, definitely it will take it. uh, yes, physics world, it is valid. Definitely, Pratika, it will take too much of information. I have not given any URL, Ganesh. I am see you are trying you're asking me the website on which you can create a website for your portfolio, or you're asking me to create a portfolio. If then I have given you a couple of apps on which you can create your own portfolio, taking the template from them. And when it comes to creating a website, so I think any website developer can do it. Then content you can manage. Uh, yes. Probably, I think a sample format of research portfolio you can see, because if I'll share my screen, probably I'll go out of being live. That is something here. But yes, I can tell you that, sample research portfolio, this which, and your domain, whatever your domain is, you can search like this, and probably you can get to see some sample research portfolios. Yeah. Thank you, Neeraj. I have seven publication, two book chapters, two international book, around 6 to 7, which is good, Pritika. It is a well detailed. I think 4 to 5 pages research portfolio is not a bad one. And I mean, if you have taken the feedback from your peers and fellow colleagues, so then what you can see it, you can give a relook to your research portfolio, that to what extent I have discussed the information, probably which is needed and probably which is not needed. Okay, then you can create or probably you might find that you have to edit the information. Okay. Ganesh, I can tell you, you can create a website, right? So, in while preparing a website for your research portfolio, you create different sections like academic excellence, or probably you can say that academic progressions. Then you can say that research publication. Then a special section for your conference presentation. Then you can prepare a special section for your grants and awards, and in that you can list it all. Okay, in that you can list it all. Okay. All welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. See, it is as much as it is important to research, as much as it is important to document it also in our research portfolio. It is very important. It is. Uh, Not here. You can find me on LinkedIn. That would be better, Ganesh. Okay, you can get in touch with me on LinkedIn. Also, there is one suggestion that update your research information on Google Scholar. Yes, on that also, Dr. Srinivas, we can get in touch through Research Graduate. That would be great. That you can get in. You we can collaborate, and we can work with each other. Probably. Well, what's your domain interest area, research area, if I may ask? We can get in touch with the team through team. That would be better. If I may ask that, what's your domain, research domain? Yeah, Mona, that's fine. That's good enough. Just keep them updated all the time. Just make sure that um whatever you have in terms of your um, update publications you make. Dr. Srinivas, I would like need to know your research domain. Like mine is management, particularly. Yeah. So what would be yours? Sure, Dr. Srinivas. Sure, sure, sure. Mr. Manoj, I think we have conducted couple of them like in the past, and definitely since you have, like since you have showcased your interest in similar topics, we can definitely arrange some in coming future. Am I audible? Am I audible? Hello, everyone. I think I'm audible now. I don't know what happened that in between, my screen got visible. Uh, Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Now let me take back to the questions if there is anyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. On AI, blockchain, computer wrote many papers, and they have a very nice, Dr. Srinivas. I think we can collaborate on something. Probably I'm not related directly to AI or blockchain, but something can be midways can be worked on it, right? Um, Kritika, actually, I was stuck. My screen was frozen. Yeah. Um, yes, definitely. I think, like you said, so many interest areas you have mentioned, Dr. Srinivas. Definitely, we can get in touch with, right? It was wonderful catching up with all of you, and mm, I think after this session, you all will start working not only on research projects or research papers, but alongside documenting them effortlessly, right? And we will definitely catch up for the next webinar. And meanwhile, please keep working on your sessions and sessions as in the academic sessions you take and your research developments as well. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in, and thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much.